Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. This is going to be a reading on Trump's upcoming visit to England and the United Kingdom. This will be Trump's second state visit, which is unusual. Most U.S. presidents get a single state visit, and then in their second term, they're invited to lunch or tea with the king or the queen in that case. But not this time. This is likely driven due to Trump's tariffs and his love of royalty and all pomp and circumstance that surrounds royalty. So, as the BBC was noting, King Charles is in a very unique position where they can invite him to a second state visit, which Trump can then proudly proclaim no other president's been allowed to do this, and that the king must really like me, and then they'll put him in a horse-drawn carriage with military flyovers and bands and all sorts of stuff. He'll hear a cheering crowd, but it'll really be a jeering crowd. And Trump likes all this stuff. All of this plays to his ego, and I'm sure the king will also play to Donald Trump's ego. It's funny, in Dungeons and Dragons, they refer to dragons as being highly intelligent but extremely susceptible to flattery. And it never really made sense to me until I watched what folks are doing with Trump. And I'm not insinuating he's highly intelligent, but watching how the flattery works. Whatever works. Okay, so what's his itinerary going to look like? He's going to fly out on the 16th, which is going to be Tuesday the 16th. And I'm already getting the Ten of Swords. That's going to be interesting if he flies out on Tuesday the 16th. But that's when he's supposed to do it. He'll arrive in the UK on Tuesday the 16th and leave on Thursday the 18th. What's going to happen? When Trump arrives in the UK, they will be met by U.S. Ambassador Warren Stevens. The Viscount Hood, Lord-in-Waiting, will welcome them on behalf of the King. On Wednesday, they'll go to Windsor Castle, where they'll be greeted by Prince and Princess of Wales. That would be William and Catherine, before being formally welcomed by the King and Queen, the Queen being Camilla. There'll be a royal salute fired in Windsor and the Tower of London. They'll have lunch. The President will visit St. George's Chapel to lay a wreath on the tomb of Queen Elizabeth II. Then there'll be a flyover, which Trump will dig. Wednesday evening, there will be a state banquet where both King Charles and Donald Trump will deliver speeches. Then on Thursday, they'll go to... the president goes to Chequers to meet the prime minister. I think I'm pronouncing that right. They will view Sir Winston Churchill's archives before holding a meeting and a news conference. Melania will remain at Windsor Castle, where she'll tour the Royal Library and see Queen Mary's dollhouse, a famous miniature palace built in the 1920s. Later, then, she will meet Chief Scout Dwayne Fields with Catherine, Princess Catherine, who's the joint president of the Scouts Association. And then Melania will join her husband at Chequers before they return to the U.S. There's the itinerary. All sorts of questions. First off, will Trump be healthy enough to go? It's interesting in looking at his health event from a week or two ago, where he just disappeared. The speculation is that he has COVID, or that he had COVID, and he was laying low for a few days. That might make sense. Just saying. But again, that doesn't mean he doesn't have swollen ankles and heart problems and all sorts of other problems. And flying isn't the greatest thing to do when you are suffering heart problems such as congestive heart failure. So let's look at the energy as this meeting comes up. Again, I had a card flip up while I was shuffling. It was the Ten of Swords. So things coming to an end or a rebirth, depending on how optimistic you are. So, entertainment purposes only. Let's take a look at the energy around Donald Trump and his upcoming visit to the United Kingdom. Foundation of the reading is the Lover's card. He's looking forward to it. He views himself as royalty. He's American royalty meeting British royalty. The BBC's not wrong. He lives for this stuff. What's the challenge? The Ace of Wands. Kind of like who who gets to set the agenda, who's actually in charge, because one of them is a king and the other one wants to be a king, and the Supreme Court has made him a de facto king. But while in Buckingham Palace, Donald Trump will be he will be the secondary person in this. King Charles will be the king, but in the trade deals, Donald Trump is the king. Okay, so yeah, it's interesting. He gets to be the guest in this one, but in some ways, he likes being the guest because he's going to be spoiled. He'll be spoiled rotten. Okay, in the past, Four of Wands, he's been a welcome guest in the past, and he's being re-welcomed again. Current situation, Nine of Cups. He is happy, happy, happy. Now, Donald Trump doesn't know how to be happy. He doesn't understand happiness. He doesn't understand joy. But this type of thing brings him to the emotion that's closest to what Donald Trump feels is happiness. There's like a contentment and an enthusiasm. He's looking forward to this. And it's sad because you think about it, he doesn't know what happiness is. He doesn't know love. He doesn't know happiness. So this is as close as it gets. Sort of an enthusiastic looking forward to something. Overarching energy is the Queen of Wands. It's funny if we get a royalty card in that position. I'm not saying Camilla is going to be handling things here, but it's more the energy of Queen Elizabeth II and her leadership, and Charles kind of living up to those expectations. But there's definitely a big royal factor here. Lesson to be learned is the Devil card. What you chain yourself to. You got the Angel and the Devil card here. He's looking forward to this. I'm not saying he's going with corrupt intentions. Nor am I saying that Charles is going to be corrupted. But the reason why he's being brought there is because of his corruption. And King Charles is going to do the best he can to play these two energies off on each other. The outcome will be the Hanged Man. I don't think anybody's getting thrown under the bus. I think things will be seen in a new light. Maybe Charles and Camilla really haven't seen Donald Trump as Donald Trump, and this could also be Trump's health as his if he makes the trip, they could see that he's not well and they view him in a different light, or Trump's health can act up, which turns his plans upside down. Something could happen that turns his plans upside down on his visit, but if I'm just reading it straight up, I've got the card underneath the strength card. Yeah, this is the Royals playing to their strengths. They influencing Trump, getting him to do what they want to do. I think they'll be successful in that. Trump may leave with an appreciation for the Royals, or the Royals will have him leave and they will have a viewpoint of him that they did not have before. Not sure which is which. Nor did I throw a clarifier card on it to find out. But I don't think it'll matter because I don't think we'll ever hear about it. Okay, first off, even before we go on this trip, will Trump's current state of health interfere with this upcoming visit? As I recorded, it's in 2 days. I'm assuming they are leaving probably the noon or the afternoon of the 16th and arriving the evening of the 16th. You've got about a 5-hour time difference. probably about a 5-hour flight and a 5-hour time difference. That sound about right? It's 9 hours from the West Coast to Heathrow. So from Washington, D.C., it's probably only a 3-hour flight, huh? 3.5 hour flight plus a 3-hour time difference. Yeah, they would probably leave around noonish or so. Not that that matters. Sorry, I'm just doing logistics in my head. Trump's health. Will Trump's health be a hindrance to his visit to the UK on the 16th? Judgment. It's probably against doctor's advice. Let's just see. Judgment crossed by health evaluations. Yeah, I think even if his doctor told him not to do it, he's going to do it anyway. So they're going to try and figure out what's the best way to get this thing to happen. Underneath it all is the Page of Swords. It's not a good idea. It's a little bit it's kind of reckless. But it's like the parents don't want to disappoint the child on the child's big day. He's not feeling well, but they're still going to let him go to the party. That type of thing. In the past, the Nine of Swords, there's anxiety around this trip that he's about to take. And I don't think it's Trump having the anxiety. I think there is general anxiety of this trip and what if his health fails on this trip? What are we going to do? Current situation of the Two of Cups. I think they've agreed to let him go, but you've got to do these things. You take these meds, get a lot of rest. They're going to tell him what he needs to do if he wants to take this trip. Oh, jeez. Overarching energy is the Death card. Okay. There might be some anxiety with regards to this. It doesn't mean that he will die, but I honestly think the people are telling him that this is a bad idea. This is what they're stressing out over. You need to sign this waiver if you're going to take this trip. Lesson to be learned, the pomp and circumstance, six of wands. Trump wants to go. He's going to be, in his mind, he's going to be greeted like a champion coming home. He's going on this trip. Whether it kills him or not, he's going to go on this trip. Out comes the Hierophant. The only thing that can stop him is the government. Some situation happening that causes this trip to be canceled, whether it's Charles canceling it or some dire situation that would prevent Trump from leaving. Israel attacks Iran or something like that, and now he's stuck in the Situation Room, but I don't think that's going to happen here. Honestly, I think that Donald Trump is going to go. Come hell or high water, he's going. I think when I read on this last week, I didn't think his health was going to hold up for that. I thought his health might prevent him from doing that. But if it does, he still plans on going. He's going to literally have to be strapped down at Walter Reed Medical Center to prevent him from going on this trip. Given the current energy spirit, will Trump's health fail him before, during, or on his way home from this trip? Basically sometime between the 15th of September and the 19th of September. Well, maybe I shouldn't even do that. Will this trip be detrimental to Donald Trump's health? How about that? That'll be a bigger reading. I would do 4-carders to find out if it's detrimental during it or after it, but let's just ask if it's detrimental as part of it first. 6 of Wands. I'm drawn to Dan Dan Greeny's thing saying that Trump's downfall will be spectacular and undeniable. Just saying. Trump really wants to go. Heroes welcome. And he's going to go come hell or high water. I'm asking if his health will fail on this trip. And it's telling me he's going on this trip whether you like it or not. And there's going to be lessons learned on this trip. Again, now we're looking at his health again. Reaping what you sow in the past. You wanted to go on this. He's going to force this trip forward. 8 of Cups. An emotional walking away, a leaving. It wouldn't surprise me if he's exhausted or he can't do everything that they have on the itinerary for him. That or this is just saying, I'm going. You can't stop me. It's one of the two. There's the flight over and things happening quickly. You got to monitor, monitor your pacing. Stick to the itinerary type thing here. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay on this trip. Out comes the strength card. His health, to me, this was, again, the Royals playing to his vanity and getting a deal out of it. He may not be on his, in order to get him to go, he may not be on his sharpest game when he's there. And you throw in all this flattery and stuff. I'm not seeing anything that says that he's going to have a health event before, during, or immediately after this trip. So it looks like maybe they met him up appropriately to get through this. All right. Just a 4-carder. What is the consequence of this trip? Donald Trump going to this trip and coming back. What are the consequences of this trip? That's a consequence. Start off as the death card. Thoughts and prayers. The King of Pentacles. Financial deals. The 5 of Wands. The energy, the fighting, but it's like the scheduling. This could be the protest that he sees too. There's that 6 of Wands again. Wow, this has come up 3 times. What's going on with that? And the Lover's card again. What's the consequences? Ending of a cycle, beginning of a new day type of thing. It just could be the establishment of relations with the king, but there's a lot of turmoil. Making deals, being viewed as like a hero's welcome, the center of attention. There's, the death card and the angel card here. There's like to Trump, it's like this is a welcoming home type thing. Now, I'm going to throw that out. I chose those words specifically because in near-death experiences, they refer to going to heaven as it feels like you're returning home. That this material plane, the earth that we're on, was a vacation that we're on, but going back to heaven felt like you're finally going to home, like your real home. All right. Flat out, tell me what the death card means in these readings. It's come up, and then I'll read on the 6 of Wands. Tell me what the death card means in these readings. 4-carder. What does it signify? A health event. It's something new with this health. It could be, it could be tariffs too, but you got the strength card, failing health. The progression of his health, and the death card again. And then the Lover's card underneath it. It's like he's one step closer to going to heaven, or moving. Things are progressing with his health, getting him closer to the spiritual realm. He's weakening, and it's like he's not long for this world. I don't want to get your hopes up. Sorry. But okay, so notice, maybe you can't see, as I put these cards in, I do not put them in the same part of the deck. I put them in different parts. So the fact that they keep coming out, is it because I stack them all on top of each other, shuffle really poorly, and then what do you know? Here they come up all next to each other again. No, they get put in different parts. All right. What was the other question I was going to ask? Oh yeah, what is the significance of the 6-1? So it's like this trip is going to speed up his visit home to the angels. Now I know you're saying Donald Trump's not going to heaven. We all go to heaven. He might, his spirit may create his own personal hell for him to endure what he's done to other people. But we're all star seeds. We're all fragments of God's energy in the end. And even though he's acted as vile as a person can act down here, in the end of the day, that's likely where he ends up, depending on your belief system. What about the 6? So, if you don't want to look at it as heaven, look at it as he's going to go before St. Peter's and be read the riot act for what he's done. If that makes you feel, if that sort of feels more like justice to you. 6 of Wands. What is the 6 of Wands card? Because that's shown up a number of times here. I'm a little annoyed the death card showed up at the meaning of the death card because you're not supposed to use the same word to define itself. 6 of Wands, the champion. It's controlling the money. Being a mercenary. The mysteries of it. Stop it! I said you're not supposed to define this card with this card in there. It's like he feels like a champion. Now, again, this is about controlling the money, offering something of value here. The mystery of it, and the Queen of Cups, trying to keep emotions in check, and it's part of the plan type thing. There's a lot of action, a lot of movement with money on this one. And Donald Trump gets to control that action and movement with money. His tariffs are always a mystery. You never know what they're going to be from day to day. And emotionally, I don't say he's being manipulated. He's going to let his emotions sort of rule the money part of it. He'll be influenced. I don't know what type of deal he would try to cut with the royals on that. But he might try to cut some type of deal. I do think he will reduce tariffs or rethink tariffs on for the UK. Maybe he won't reduce the stuff for Canada because he may not be able to get it in his head that somehow Canada is not part of the Commonwealth and should be treated differently. But I think tariffs for England, Scotland, and Ireland would probably benefit from all this. Okay, 7 Carter. What is it? What else do you want us to know about Trump's upcoming visit to Windsor Castle and visit with King Charles, September 16th through the 18th? Anybody laying bets on if we're going to get the 6 of Wands or the Death card in this one? You reap what you sow, financially and health-wise. Crossed with the 6 of Cups. Reigniting the friendships and the relationships between these two countries. And it will be successful. I think from the United Kingdom's point of view, this is going to be a very successful trip. They're going to play on nostalgia and partnerships. And do we really need all this stuff? Because we're all, we're going to be a happy family at the end of the day here. In the past, the Ace of Wands coming in. This is going to be a gamble to bring him in there for a second one. It's the journey overseas and waiting what seems to happen. Trump maybe wants to think about it. But again, if he promises anything, the proof of the pudding's in the tasting. A lot of fire energy here. Overarching energy is 7 of Wands. Fighting from advantage. Turmoil and just... Look at all this fire energy. This is going to be a high energy trip. Lesson to be learned is the 5 of Wands, the Hillbilly Brawl card, the activity, the fighting, the turmoil, that's going through. Or maybe they're going to take it down a notch here. This could also be the protests. Out comes the King of Cups. I think the king is going to be... This hinges on Charles. I was chuckling because I was thinking of Andrew in the Epstein files. There could be some more damage control that's going on here besides just tariffs. Just saying. But I think in the end of the day, this is going to be about Charles. Charles taking an opportunity and succeeding with it. Okay, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.